Hey everyone, Connie here with a first impressions on episode 1 of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Um, so I went into this kind of expecting it to be like Uzaki-chan, and I can say without a doubt it's not like Uzaki-chan. Based on the trailer and all, which is pretty much all I've seen other than like reaction faces from the manga and everything in years prior and maybe a little bit of fan art on social media. Yeah, like I said, the trailer's all I've seen. So it's all I really had to go off of going into this. And my thoughts on it were okay, it seems like it's probably Uzaki chan just a little more aggressive. And it's a lot more aggressive. There's some points where it seems like she's teasing him in the series, and I know her name's Nagatoro. I don't know his name. I don't know the main male character's name. There's some points where it seems like she's just teasing him, but a lot of the time it comes off as much more aggressive bullying. Very aggressive. To the point where it almost gets to sexual assault at points. She makes him outwardly cry and takes joy in that multiple times to the point where it actually scars him so much that hours and hours later at home, he's still clearly mentally and emotionally harmed by it. And it's just the first thing we see of her in the episode is she's with this group of three other girls, and they're basically all talking about how they're fucking with others. And they're just laughing about how stupid these others are and everything. And it's like our main male character even points out how fucked up this is and how he hates girls like that who do that kind of shit. Like this is like Mean Girls, but kind of worse. Um, maybe not, maybe not worse, but it's I don't know. It's just it bothers me. The animation is pretty. The expressions are great. The voice acting's even good. But it gets to a point where it's like with Uzaki-chan, it comes across as playful teasing. She talks about how the main male character in that show, I don't even remember his name either, but she talks about how he's a loner, but she wants to hang out with him and spend time with him and be friends with him. She teases him, but never goes too far. She just pokes fun at him a bit. Nagatoro here is aggressively attacking this main male character constantly. And there's points where it seems like she's trying to be nicer, but she's literally faking it just to fuck with him more. And I don't know, the tone of it, the way she does it, the way she bullies him is so much more just intense in its presentation that it actually bothers me. And maybe it's because of personal experiences, being bullied. I had to face that throughout middle and high school. More middle school than high school, admittedly, but still, I did still face it. And it's like, it just, it bothers me whenever I see people bullying others. And this feels like it's going kind of in a very similar route as Uzaki-chan, where it's kind of like trying to be like almost this like romantic comedy where it's like, oh, by the end, you know these two are going to end up together. But the thing with Uzaki-chan is you can believe it because they actually have chemistry and you actually get to see them interact in ways that is healthy and likable. But with these two, and I know this is just the first episode, but I'm basing it off of the first episode. With these two, it's so aggressively bad in what she's doing and how it's presented. It's so much worse. that the idea of them getting together, which they do tease in this episode, comes across as extremely dangerous. Not just unhealthy, not just toxic, but dangerous. As in, it would be a very abusive relationship. And I cannot condone anything to do with that. And it seems like this kind of thing has become popular in recent years. Um, like there was this other show. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Takagi-san or something like that. But it's even younger kids. I think middle school or elementary. But it's the same kind of gist. It's just a girl teasing a boy, and it's supposed to be some kind of like romance comedy thing. And I don't know how that one's presented, but so far, Uzaki-chan's the only one I can actually kind of enjoy. And while it's not perfect and it has its problems as well, again, you can see there being actual chemistry in Uzaki-chan. You can see Uzaki actually showing care for the main male character and actually wanting to genuinely help him. She teases him and pokes fun at him, but she does want to help him. And she does want to be friends with him and to hang out with him. You can believe it. In this, it's just so aggressive that it's anger inducing. Almost the entire time I was watching this, pretty much since Nagatoro came in as a character, like actually was truly introduced in the episode. From that point on, it was pretty much just anger welling up inside me at her. Because again, I've faced this. I know what it's like to be bullied. And in some ways, I've even done bullying myself. Never to this degree, fortunately. God, I would hate myself even more than I have if that were the case. But I have done that to people mostly to try and make myself feel better about having it done to me. And luckily, that was a very short period of time in my life. Very short. But I won't deny that it happened. And I think that also makes it much worse for me because I know I might have hurt someone. Even again, if I didn't go as far, it still could have hurt them. If not physically, more emotionally and mentally. Because I never became a physical bully. I never like did that, except like when I fought with my brother when we were younger, like when I was in high school and stuff. That was the closest I've ever gotten to that. Um, but the point is, I watched this first episode, and it's really split into two kind of segments. The first segment where our main male character meets Nagatoro, and the second segment, which is like the day after and everything. The first segment is so anger inducing because it's just constant barrage of her just pushing and pushing at him until he cries and then taking joy in that. And the second segment is more focused on like this art room and everything. And that gets a little more into her getting close, but never quite going over the top. But she's kind of like teasing the idea of sexually assaulting him. And just bothered the shit out of me because she was like pretending to strip and shit for him, pretending to like just fucking with him and talking about nude modeling for him and doing that kind of thing, just like stripping in front of someone and like forcing your nudity on someone is sexual assault. It's not okay to do that. And it bothered the shit out of me. And the thing is, it got so bad to the point where when she was like there was one point where she was walking around the art room. I was so angry and so just worried about what she was going to do next, honestly. There's a point where she's looking at these like stone busts because, art room, fair. I was really afraid she was going to break one of them or even all of them and then call out for a teacher or something and blame him. That is exactly where I thought it was going. And I'm kind of glad it didn't, but at the same time, I don't like where it went either. So, and again, it teases very heavily the idea of a romance between the two, and it's clear that that's kind of the joke it's going for. The same thing with Uzaki-chan, and probably the Takagi-san series as well. If I'd have to wager, again, I don't really know that one, but and again, the difference, at least with Uzaki-chan, is that with Uzaki-chan, it's more playful, joking, messing around with him. With this, it's actual, straight up, pretty heavy bullying. It never really gets to the point of physical assault or anything, although she does shove him at one point and he ends up like kind of going really far, but that even seemed like she didn't expect that to happen. So I don't think she was trying to do that. She was just trying to like jokingly push him, but still, it's like even if it doesn't go as far as like full on physical assault, it's still very clear mental and emotional trauma that she's instilling in him. And it makes it clear again that it affects him going forward, that it affects him. And I think the part that bothered me the most is at the end. Right before he finds out her name, right before she tells him her name because he's just been calling her Miss, which for some reason she thinks is creepy. That must be more of a like Japanese cultural thing that I just don't fully understand. But before that, he compares this to how he's always kind of been bullied, but with the male bullies and stuff, he's always been able to just kind of hide himself away and ignore it and just kind of just not really show emotion or any kind of reaction to it when it's happening as much. And he even mentions earlier in the episode he's never cried in public before. That she's the first person to make him cry in public like that. But then when he says like talks about her, he's like he talks about her bullying him as well. But then he says, "But I kind of like it," and that set off every red flag in my mind. And it's like, okay, no, I think I know what it's going for. The entire old school kind of idea that oh she's only bullying you because she likes you, which is I think kind of the idea that all of these shows are built upon. But again, at least with something like Uzaki-chan, it's more of a playful fun, more of a just gentle teasing that never goes too far. But with this, it's just like, no, this is straight up active bullying, and this is not okay. It is not okay to teach people that it's okay. It's not okay to teach people that someone bullying you to this degree is just because they love you. And you can't even use the excuse that, oh, it's a comedy, you're taking it too seriously. No. Because kids are going to watch this, impressionable people are going to watch this, and that they're not going to get that they're going to take it a lot more seriously, and that it's going to affect people. That's not an excuse. And it shouldn't be used as an excuse. Not with this level. Again, with something like Uzaki-chan, it's a lot more tame. You can get away with that there. But with this, with Nagatoro, no. I'm sorry, but no. And I think it's pretty clear by this point that I will not be continuing this series because this pissed me off, in all honesty. And this might be an unpopular opinion, and some of you may think I'm taking this too seriously, or that I'm not getting the joke or whatever. And if you like this series and you enjoy it and you want to continue watching, go ahead. Maybe it's just because of my experiences. Maybe it's because of experiences that I've known friends to have and people I care about to have had. But I cannot reconcile with this series. It makes me almost to the point of physically ill to see this kind of thing. To see it so blatantly, aggressively horrible like this. And again, yes, it could be worse. There could be more actual physical assault, and she could go further with it. But it bothered the shit out of me. And they tried to play around with it, like try to play around with the idea, like, oh, there's a couple moments where it seems like she's being tamer, and it's all just kind of playful teenage, picking on each other. But no, that it's very clear that's not what it is. And it irritates me that they're even trying to play with that idea. The thing is, Uzaki-chan proves you can do this concept right. Very well, actually. The more I've watched Uzaki-chan, actually, the more I've grown to like it and the more I've grown to see that. But this is just a big no for me. So I would like to hear your thoughts, though. And maybe this series does get better. I acknowledge that. Maybe it changes. Maybe this is just the first episode. Maybe it's just trying to go for maybe a little bit of shock factor or whatnot. But I can't handle this. And I don't want to risk just getting more and more upset with each episode. It's not for me. But like I said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of it. Even if you disagree with me, and you can tell me why. I'm fully willing to hear dissenting opinions. But please don't try to convince me it gets better or you're not seeing it right. Don't do that, please. Share your opinions, share your thoughts on it. Share if you think it's enjoyable or funny or whatnot. Do that, but don't try to convince me of it. Don't try to force me to give it another chance or anything. I just want to get that out there because it bothered me to a really notable level. Just please respect that. Please. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in to another First Impressions. And I think I like doing these videos. They're just these quick little reviews. So maybe I'll continue to do these for more anime and other stuff I check out. And heck, it could come up with some more cool series to check out in the future. And I mean, I don't have to continue the series right away after I do the first episode and First Impressions. It just gives me opportunities to check out more stuff in the future. But either way, thank you all so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.